Good morning. This is Assistant Principal Montrine Johnson with an important message about executive functioning skills. This year, as a building, we will be focusing on executive functioning skills. While you're here at Waubonsie, we want you to develop these skills so that you can be successful not only in high school, but also in college, career, and beyond. As adults, we use these skills every single day, and we know how important it is to plan and organize for the events or for activities or tasks that we have. So the message for today is about helping you hone those planning and organizational skills that everyone needs to be successful. This quote really summarizes why it's important for you to develop those planning and organizational skills. A failure to plan is a plan to fail. So we recognize how important it is to be proactive. And at Waubonsie Valley and in District 204, we want to help you hone and develop your social emotional learning skills. And the skills that are specifically being addressed with executive functioning skills are that self-management, self-awareness, and responsible decision-making. So throughout this presentation, we want you to be self-aware. We want you to reflect on what you're doing currently to plan and organize and prepare for each day, for each month, for each week. We also want you to think about how you can improve your skills. So you're going to have some reflection questions at the end of this presentation for you to think about. And then we're also going to have you set a goal that you will set and measure for 4 weeks. We know that consistency is key. So that's truly the goal of this presentation, is to really have you reflect on your current skills, like where you are, and then also for you to think about where you want to go. So please pay attention and listen to this very important message from our school counselors, who really outline how important it is for you to get organized and how important it is for you to plan and prepare, and for them to start having you think about how important it is and how it can really improve your life and help you be more productive and less stressed. Thank you, Warriors.
Welcome Waubonsie Valley High School students to a brand new school year. I am Mrs. Bianchi, one of the counselors here at Waubonsie, with Ms. Ratchev and Ms. Coleman. Our goal this year is to help every student start strong by adopting an effective organization system. Today we'll share some valuable tips and strategies that have helped previous Warriors achieve both organizational and academic success. Let's make this year our best one yet. Take a moment to reflect to yourself. What comes to mind when you envision an organized student? Now we are going to pair and share for the next 2 minutes with your neighbor next to you what comes to mind when you envision an organized student. Teachers, please pause the video for 2 minutes. It is important to be organized in various areas of your life, both physically and digitally. Your goal is to find which method works for you, which may look different than your peers. An organized space can reduce stress and increase productivity. It helps you find things quickly and keeps your environment pleasant. Keeping school materials and assignments organized ensures that nothing gets lost and that your deadlines are met. It helps in staying on top of your coursework and reduce that last-minute stress. So what needs to be organized in your life? When starting to get organized, there are a few areas to focus on. Your bedroom, your locker at school, backpack, folders, binders, study area, maybe having a planner or a calendar, and keeping your Google Drive organized.
Research has shown that a well-organized and thought-out study space results in more success for students. When creating or using your study space, here are a few things to consider. A quiet, well-lit space, perhaps with natural lighting by a window. Use the same space so that it is organized and ready for you to use every single time. Keep it organized and have your needed materials before you start your activity. Perhaps grab a snack or a beverage to get yourself in the right mindset to work. Avoid doing homework in your bed. I know some students tend to do this, but that often results in them taking a nap or not being focused. Remove visual and auditory distractions, such as a TV or your cell phone. The cell phone is a big deal. Set boundaries. Perhaps put it in another room. Put it on silent. Give yourself timed moments away from the phone. Sometimes instrumental music can help students focus. Other times, music can be a distraction. Add personality, some pictures or positive quotes, things that make you want to spend time in that space. In order to stay organized and successful as an individual in your everyday life, it is important to keep track of your responsibilities. As a high school student, that includes assignments, assessments, projects, extracurriculars, and outside activities and obligations. There is a lot to keep track of, and if you are not already using an organizational tool, now is the time to find what works for you. At this point, every student should have been given a Waubonsie Valley High School paper planner. We encourage all students to try using the planner to keep track of your responsibilities. Give it a few weeks. Try using the planner consistently, as it takes time to form a habit. If this tool does not work for you, you should still be using another tool, such as a digital app, a calendar, Google Keep, notes on your phone, or perhaps a Google Doc. As school counselors, when we meet with struggling students, we often hear that students are relying on their teachers or Google Classroom alone to keep themselves organized. You need to find a system that works for you academically and personally. When meeting with students, oftentimes they ask what they are supposed to write in their planner. So here are a few suggestions. Test and quiz days. That way you have many days to prepare in advance. Daily assignments, even if it's posted on Google Classroom. Your personal daily to-do items. Priority assignments, perhaps you want to highlight these. These could be things that either take more time to complete, are more difficult for you, or have an earlier deadline. Extracurricular activities, if you work outside of school, your work schedule, or any home or chores that you have to do at home. And go ahead and put on some self-care items. It's always good to keep in mind what rewards and fun things you plan on doing once your work is done. At this time, please take out your paper planner. If you do not have your planner, open up a Google Doc or try Google Keep to write down your responsibilities for the next 2 days. Teachers, please pause the video for 3 minutes.
Now we will watch a video on 6 habits of highly organized people.
Everyone has experienced that overwhelming feeling that your life is one giant mess. As a student, parent, or average person, you've got a lot going on, and it can be a real challenge to get in control and stay there. So what's the best way to get your life organized? I asked Nicole from Neatnik for her advice because she is a professional organizer. It turns out there are 6 habits highly organized people have in common. What's really interesting about these top tips is you can apply them to organizing anything, not just a physical space. Now you might be wondering why you should even care about being organized. So let's see if any of these reasons blow your hair back. You'll be more focused on what you want to achieve, be able to prioritize your tasks, and set and achieve your goals more efficiently. You'll manage your time more effectively, work more economically, and be more productive. You'll be less stressed, achieve more balance in your life, and be more flexible. And you might even have more energy and enthusiasm once you've achieved freedom from chaos. Sound good? Okay, here's how to do it. Habit number 1. Keep it simple. Elaborate organizational systems are hard to maintain, and most of the time, they're not worth the effort. Whether you're organizing your sock drawer or your class notes, have as few steps as possible. Otherwise, it'll be too frustrating to maintain over time. Going crazy with a fancy color coding system might look pretty cool, but the effort can outweigh the benefits. Choose a system that's easy to use and you'll become more productive, not less. Develop routines. If there are things you have to do every day or week, create set routines about when and how you do them. This is about managing your time more effectively and saving yourself the mental effort of continual planning and rescheduling. Turn your important tasks into routines and fit the rest of your life around them, not the other way around. When is your best time to study, exercise, socialize, clean your home, or relax? Develop morning and evening routines for your regular tasks, whether it's study or putting out the recycling. Anybody's routine can get broken, but always try to get your groove back as soon as possible. Have a place for everything and put everything in its place. This might be common sense, but it's not always common practice. If you don't know where things belong, you can't put them away. You might have a shelf for all your textbooks and class notes, a special section of your closet for your winter clothes, or folders on your computer for all your assignments. So this works for physical things or digital things, or even your knowledge like I teach at Memrise Academy. Try not to put something down temporarily, but take a few extra seconds to put it where it belongs, every time. Keep a current and detailed to-do list. Don't be mistaken, it takes planning to be organised. Work backwards by starting with your end goal and then decide what smaller steps you'll follow to get there. Try to keep lists for daily tasks as well as longer-term projects. And use a central list for everything, whether it's in a physical notebook or a digital list on your computer or phone. If you write random reminders on loose pieces of paper, make sure you transfer them to your main list and keep it current. And giving yourself deadlines can help you to get things done and crossed off your list. Don't get bogged down by perfectionism. You don't have to be perfect to be organised, so don't think you need to get everything done and done exactly right. Prioritise tasks and try to learn where and how you can take shortcuts and how to get things done quickly. Be honest and think about what's really important. The end goal is progress, so it's less about perfection and more about action. Toss things daily and purge routinely. Organised people don't wait for a free weekend or an open block of time to get themselves and their lives in order. They constantly cross things off their list, throw things away, reevaluate what they own, and tidy their house in the way they operate. They may take a few minutes each night to clean off their desk, delete old files from their computer or emails from their inbox, or throw out the expired food from their refrigerator. Organising is not a separate event, it's part of their day. And there you have it. Whether you're organising your room or home, your computer, the way you study, the way you think, your social life, or the goals you want to achieve, these 6 habits will get you streamlined and heading in the right direction. Keep it simple. Develop routines. Have a place for everything and put everything in its place. Keep a current and detailed to-do list. Don't get bogged down by perfectionism, and toss things daily and purge routinely. If you'd like to get advice from a professional organizer on organising your room, home, or physical space, head over to Neatnik for some more.
Here are some organizational skill misconceptions that we want to cover when related to staying organized. Myth: organizing is the same as being neat. The fact is that organized is not about how a space looks, but how it functions. Myth: being organized is a talent, you're born with it. The fact: organizing is a learnable skill. Myth: organizing is about throwing things away. Fact: you can keep everything that you have space for and still be organized. In summary, a few takeaways. Organizational skills are not genetic. We have to work at them. The time it takes to get organized is worth it. It saves you time and saves you stress in the long run. No one size fits all. Organizational systems have to be fitting for you and for your personality. Good organization requires maintenance for it to be effective. You are never done organizing your space. To conclude our presentation, we will end with a little discussion. First, you will pair and share. Then you will have time for class discussion on what you can do this week to help you stay organized.
All right, thank you for your attention during that important message from our counselors. And now I want you to stop and think and reflect on your current practice. And first thing, stop, think, and reflect about what you currently do. And then you're going to be able to discuss this with a partner and then share out with the class if there's time. So how do you currently keep track of your schoolwork, your extracurricular activities in your personal life? Do you use the school planner, which you received last week? Do you prefer a digital app of some sort? Do you have an old school pen and paper to-do list? Do you prefer to use Google Classroom, where you just hope that your teachers list those assignments that are expected for you to complete? Think about the ways in which you currently keep track of your schoolwork, extracurricular activities in your personal life. Maybe you work. How do you keep track of all of that? I mean, you have 8 classes if you include lunch. You also have all of these assignments, tasks, and activities. So think about that. How do you keep track of everything? Second question is, how do you organize your study materials, notes, and assignments? You have tests and quizzes and projects at different times of the week. They're not always on the same day. So how do you organize all of that information when you're going from class to class to class so that you're able to access that information when you need to do so? Next, what strategies do you use to avoid procrastination and to stay on task? With so many different activities and classes, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. It happens to all of us. So how do you avoid procrastination, avoid waiting to the last minute? And how do you stay on task so that when you're in your current class, you're not working on an assignment for another class? What do you do to make sure that you turn things in on time and that you're able to avoid procrastination? At this time, please share this with your partner and perhaps even share with the class. The goal here is for you to learn from each other, because ultimately we want to help you develop a system of organization to keep track of everything so that you are more productive and less stress, which will also lead to that more significant sense of accomplishment. So take a few minutes to discuss. And lastly, we want you at this time, based on what you've heard, the video message from our counselors, the discussion that you've had with your neighbors, we want you to set a goal. This is your personal goal setting time. And if you don't have a system, okay, we want you to choose and use an organizational system, whether that be the school planner, Google Keep, a digital app, old school pencil and paper. But we want you to choose a system. And keep in mind that consistency is the key here. We want you to use this system for 4 weeks. I mean, the research is clear. When you have a system of organization, you are more productive, less stress, which ultimately leads to this sense of accomplishment and allows you to be successful. So the goal here is to help you get organized. And just remember that consistency is the key. So we want you to use this system for 4 weeks, and we will have a check-in. And over the course of this quarter and this semester, we're going to be showing you different ways to get organized so that you can try different methods and find the method that works best for you, to find what really sticks, what works. Warriors, thank you for your attention this morning. And again, the goal is to help you plan and organize so that you can be successful and always present your best self. Thank you, Warriors.